Happy Monday. If you're watching on YouTube or and on Facebook, let me know in the comments if you watch on a replay with the hashtag replay. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm hoping my phone doesn't fall off its tripod. It's been giving me every time I try and set it up, no matter how much I tighten it, it seems to be falling over. So if that happens, I'll just have to take a second and stand everything back up right again. So it's a little crooked right now, but I'm afraid to touch it because I feel like the whole thing's just gonna fall over. So let's get things situated here on my end. All right, there we go. Okay, things look good here. As you're coming on, tell me hi, tell me what you're working on. Yeah, we'll give people a minute or two to hop on. I don't have a project on the needles to work on, so unless it says I sound good, that's good. Hopefully things are just gonna go smoothly tonight. That would be fantastic. What should be on my needles is back there still on a mannequin and on pearl strings. So yeah, I can't be just mindlessly knitting while I'm chatting with you all. So I'm trying to just keep my hands in my lap. Um yeah, tell me what you're working on. Tell me how your weekend was. Uh Man, it's beautiful out there. I just love I like this late summer, nice warm weather. Hi, Shar. Good. I'm glad you like it. Hi, Patty. Working on a baby Afghan, finishing some projects. Excellent. I should be finishing some things, but the Stephen West knit along starts Thursday, so I'll be starting more things. Hi, Cindy. Nicole, working on your Grandana cowl hood. Oh, is that the crochet one? I didn't actually know the name of it. That's kind of a fun name. Hi, Sherry. Okay. I have a few yarns to show and to talk about tonight. So, let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually not wearing anything. Looking to finish a hat for charity. Nice. I'm not wearing anything knitted or crocheted today, and I did not finish anything knitted or crocheted. I have been working on, hi, Oriana, a Poema mohair wrap. Mohair. Love my red, what, my lipstick? Joyce working on fission knitting cowl and double knit coasters. Yeah, calculating how long to catch your temperature blanket. Sarah, do you mean you're calculating like how long it takes you to do each row and how many rows you have and how much time it's going to take you, or just how many days you have to catch up? Either one is kind of a daunting thing to think about, I think. So I am working away on my retro sweater, which is what's here behind me. I am to the bottom ribbing. I've got maybe an inch and a half or so of that done. It calls for 3 inches of the ribbing on the body, and then I can pick up and start knitting the arms. But it's coming along. I did take a minute to finish the neckline on it. I really like how that looks. It's kind of a cool idea. I can drag you over here. I don't want to take it off the mannequin because then the mannequin will be naked. But it's kind of a cool concept because you see how it rolls like this, which normally you would get if you just did a couple rows of stockinette. But what she has you do is knit to purl to ribbing, then do a couple rows of just knitting and bind off, and it curls. It gives a really neat finished look. I like that a lot. I haven't read ahead to see if she has you do that with the bottom or not. Right now, like I said, it's on a holder, on a stitch holder, on pearl string, until I can put it back on the needles. We had an event in Bay City that I set up a booth and vend at this weekend. Well, Karen did actually. I set it up and Karen stayed and worked it all weekend. But I wanted to have that on display, and I was at the end of a skein of yarn of that gray. So I figured I'd just put it on pearl strings and pick back up sometime this week. The latter. Okay, so just figuring out how far behind you are. I got it. So that is slowly getting some work done on it. Last week I talked about the crochet band tee where I crocheted the sides, and I pulled out, well, I went thrifting and found a couple sweatshirts that I'm going to try to do more crochet embellishments on. So let's see, I want to kind of show you the before and not quite after, but mid of what I'm working on now. So here's this insanely bright sweatshirt. It's so cute. It says it's fall, y'all, with the pumpkins on it. And it has these plaid sleeves. And so I decided to cut off the sleeves and crochet sleeves on it. So I've got one sleeve mostly done. I've just been kind of, damn, Karen was wonderful at the event. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. I know she loves being there, and I know you all love having her there. It's the perfect match. We're gonna miss you all next year. So crocheted sleeve, I started with the same Instagram tutorial. I did actually mark this time how, like, so every half inch I marked. And with this one, it's a little bit different where I ran the running stitch around the inside, but then I went back and did every other one. So these are half inch apart, and I just took a really sharp tapestry needle, wove in and out all the way around, and then crocheted into it. Her tutorial suggested you decreased every 5 rows. I did that and my sleeve got really narrow really fast. So I had it almost done and I had to rip it all the way back to the 5th row where I had started the decreases, and I spread them out, did them like every 7 rows instead. Now I'm going to rip back to about here, because it looks to me like it gets a little bit wider and it should get a little bit narrower. And I'm almost out of my skein of vintage. So my hope would be I can finish this sleeve and salvage the cuff from the sleeve I cut off and put it on as a cuff. I think that'd be pretty cute. She shows a few that are like that, just kind of sew it on. So I have to rip a few rows back and decrease a little bit more on this, but I think it's really, really a cute look. I think it kind of warms it up a little bit too, this plaid sleeve. I mean, I like me some plaid, but this is kind of, it's a bit much. So this was just a shirt that I thrifted. I have had a couple people ask if we're going to do a class on something like this. And if there is enough interest, I am not opposed to doing that. It would not be a beginning crochet class, but I think we could actually do it as a knit or crochet class, just as the technique on how to cut and how to weave in, how to sew in your beginning strands to get started. So that might be a fun little one-day class to do coming up sometimes. So those are the things that I'm working on. I also wanted to show you, I've talked a few times before about the clincher cowl, the clincher bandana cowl. So we had these kits from Molly Klein that were a full skein of fingering weight yarn and a coordinating mini skein. This is Jody's sample that the yarn that she bought and knit up and has on loan to us. But we've got our Molly Klein kits. I think I have just 4 of these left now where she dyed custom colors for us. And she did like a really fun speckle and then a tonal blue to coordinate with it. So if you don't remember or missed it when I talked about it before, the clincher cowl, there's a knit and a crochet pattern for this, or the clincher bandana. Both are essentially the same. Then this is the knit one. The crochet one is single crochets for most of it. And then you do these little chain edges as well. But what's fun about this pattern is you take your tail, weave it through all these little I-cord bits, and it turns it from a small shawl into a really cute cowl. And you can weave it through as few or as many as you like. I usually do about that many because then I get bored with trying to weave it through. But it's just a really sharp look, turns it into a cowl. You get that little accent depending on how bright or contrasty your accent is. You get to see that little I-cord edge on there. So this is the knit one. But Jo has been working on a crochet one and I wanted to show that off. So she bought one of the Molly Klein kits So we wound up, this is our custom color that Molly did for us. And then she wanted it bigger though. Sorry, guys, try not to do it, trying to do it without making too much noise. So she wanted it bigger. And so we pulled one of Molly's tonals to go with it. And she asked me how frequently she should change colors. And I said, whatever you feel like. So this is what she started. And look at how cool that looks. So she's kind of doing wide stripes with the custom color and then the tonal. And I love, you can see, I love when you can see the lights and darks in a tonal yarn. It kind of makes it so when we go and use Heritage for something, it just seems so solid, where these tonals you just get such a pretty depth of color to it. So this is Joe's that she started. She's striping it, gonna make it bigger. It's really cool, high-end Jackie, that you can make it larger or smaller because it's basically a 2-row repeat. The knit one and the crochet one both are basically, well, I think the knit one's a 4-row repeat because it's like you knit and purl for a row and then you purl and knit for a row. So it's kind of wide. It looks like garter, but it's not. It's actually 2 knit rows and then 2 purl rows that you see. But other than that, you could just keep going. And the method to do this little I-cord loopy edge is going to be the same no matter how many stitches you have. You just need to make sure that you have enough to get full repeats of each one. But so yeah, Joe was working on this. I love how it looks. And it gives you kind of an idea of what the crochet version would look like. So I wanted to show that off too, because I think it looks really, really pretty. Both of those patterns Melissa linked for the knit and the crochet one. Let's see. Okay, so that's projects going on. I've got all sorts of yarn piled over here around me. So let's talk about what's new in the shop. You may have seen, you may not have seen. I posted about it, but I don't think I talked about it on the live, and I've got a few left. So Malabrigo is now doing mini skeins. So I have this little basket of Malabrigo mini skeins. It is their ultimate sock base. So it is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and they picked their 12 most popular colors for these minis. They're $6 a mini, 84 yards, fingering weight yarn. So their colors are Ravelry Red. That one wanted to go next. Cote d'Azur, which is one of my favorites, one of Jody's favorites too. Cereza, which is a deeper red. Caramel. Sunset. Frank Ochre. Teal Feather. Zinnias, this is like a pink and red mix. Wales Road, of course. Pearl 10, which is one of their, it's like a purpley, I think of it like a stormy gray. It's like a purpley gray. Grease, which is just a good, this is probably my favorite gray of theirs. That's just a good solid gray. And I think that might be it. Oh, Azul Profundo. So there are a few that I have more than one of, but for the most part, I only have one left of each of those. Minis are great for all kinds of things. I do think, because I had somebody just ask about this the other day before they stopped here before they went to the retreat. Our custom Malabrigo color, our Degada, is a speckly color, and they had wanted to do the clincher with that color instead of the Molly Klein kits. The Cote d'Azur would be a really, really great one to pair up with that for the contrast edging. Actually, teal feather would be really pretty too. So, just some thoughts and some ideas. But I didn't think I had talked about those yet, so we've got those here in the shop. It's almost October, you guys. I cannot believe October is 2 days away. September just flew by, and now it's like it feels like summer outside, where a month ago it felt like fall. So my body is all confused. Um, my sinuses are all confused. I don't know what's going on. But I will take it. I like the warm weather, so I'm fine with that, even if it's almost October. But we got in the mail today, we got the Dreaming Color Club color, pop-up club color for September. It is called Sugar Rush. And I thought they couldn't do any more variations of a bright pink yarn, because the pop-up club toward the end of last year had a bunch of different fun pink variations. But this one it's like a unicorn color. So this is Sugar Rush. This is the pop-up club for October. These run $36.50 a skein. I think that's right. I don't know if I put this one in the system yet. But they came with a free pattern for this color this month. So it's their smushy cashmere base. Anything with a gold label means it's a limited run, that only certain stores carry it, and it's not going to be around all the time. It's not a standard color. So this is their October pop-up club color, Sugar Rush. There is a pattern called the Robbie scarf, and it's like a mitered, okay, Nicole, we'll set one aside for you. Not mitered, what do I want to say? Modular scarf. So it's a straight up and down scarf, but it's kind of made up of little triangles that change direction. And it's designed with this yarn. So if you look at that pattern, the Robbie scarf, you'll see this color knit up. It looks really, really cool. But so I don't know if this is like their nod to October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They didn't say anything about that. Maybe they just really like pink, but it is Sugar Rush, I think, is a good name for it, but it seems very unicorny to me with that purple and blue in there. So we've got those now. And then the next three things I'm going to show you are they were kits or yarns that were dyed for I Love Yarn Day, which is October 11th. So a week from this coming Saturday is I Love Yarn Day. But I mean, we love yarn every day. So I created an event for it. You might see that on Facebook, but we're not doing anything hugely special because we love yarn every day. So every day is a celebration of yarn around the shop here. I don't think one Saturday is going to make a big difference, but both Madeline Tosh and Dreaming Color came up with special colors for I Love Yarn Day. So why not bring in something that is fun and limited edition? I will give you a hint if you're watching the live. They are on the website now, so they can be ordered if we have any left. They will be here and available for I Love Yarn Day, but if they sell out ahead of time, we can't be mad at somebody because they love yarn every day and not just on October 11th. So the first one I'm going to show you is Dreaming Colors. Theirs is, of course, their Smushy with Cashmere base. As a reminder, Smushy with Cashmere is 400 yards of fingering weight yarn, and it is 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon, and their exclusive color for not LYS Day, I Love Yarn Day, is called Plumwood. And did I print out the thing for that? No, I didn't. Oh, I did print out the one for the Robbie scarf though. So there's the Robbie scarf. My printer's running out of ink, so it's kind of faded. It doesn't show it nearly as bright as it is, but you can kind of see it's a modular knit. And it looks like there might be some texture in it too. Or maybe it's just all gartered. I feel like there's some changing in the texture. But with a yarn like this, where there's so much color and brightness going on, you don't need a whole lot of pattern. So I didn't print off the pattern that they're suggesting for this one, but the color is called Plumwood. And look at this deep purple. There's some undyed bare cream spots. And then there's this beautiful, beautiful rusty orangey brown color in there. A little bit of gold. I mean, purples and golds always go really, really well together. Plumwood is what it's called. All the different variations of the purple that are in there. So we've got a handful of those. And then Madeline Tosh came up with 2 color combos of their Wool Cycle Sport yarn. So it's 100% upcycled superwash wool. And I have not used this yarn before, but that's what they dyed these kits for. So that's what we got. And we only have 4 of each of the colorways of the Madeline Tosh kits. But it's a 2 skein sport weight project. And the suggested pattern is called Winging It. And size 5 needles. Maybe you can see it again best here. So it's kind of a half and half shawl where you knit with one as your primary color, as your main color for half, and then the others you swap them halfway through. So that kind of gives you a peek of the 2 different colorways, but I've got the yarns to actually show you too. So the first one is combination of Adelaide, which is one of their tonals, and yarn is a verb, which is like a bluey purple, if that's a thing. So this is the first 2. So the peach color is called Adelaide, and this purpley with peach is yarn is a verb. So that's 1 kit. Kits are $65. It includes these 2 skeins of yarn and a download code to get the pattern for free on Ravelry. So 100% superwash, upcycled superwash, sport weight yarn, 328 yards in each skein. So we've got 4 each of those, and Melissa did post links too. So you can go on the website and look at them, snag one if you want. And these 2 will knit up to look like that. That's what that sample is. See that? Maybe. My cameras are not aligned today, so I have to kind of move things all over the place. The other 2, yeah, I think probably indigo. I couldn't think of the word, Melissa. I don't know. I always think of indigo as being more blue than purple, but yeah, I mean, I guess I would probably call this more violet than purple too. So I don't know, but when you compare it to this purple, it's different. It's definitely different. Okay, so the other combo is Dirty Panther, which is one of the deep grays paired with I Love Yarn. And this one has, I feel like I need to take the label off of this one because you get to see all the colors in it then. So this is the combo for the other one. So a dark with a bright, and that really, really pops. And that is what this guy down here is knit with. So you can see the real light dark difference with that. So like I said, I have a limited number of these. I only have 4 of each kit here. And then when you buy a kit, you'll get the download code for the pattern. Yeah, they will be here until they're gone. We also got, let's see what else. Where do I want to go next? Do I want to still talk about yarn? Stitch stoppers. And I got them from our vendor we used to get from Minnie and Pearl. We used to get a lot of stitch markers from, or stitch stoppers from them. My one difficulty is their packaging is very bright and reflective. So it's kind of hard to show, but I didn't want to take them all out of the packages. So we got some fun new stitch stoppers, and I wanted to show off just a few of them. So some cat themed ones, because everybody needs cat themed stitch stoppers. So there are little kitties in like Starbucks coffee cups. Oh, they're so cute. They're those little guys. So these are $8.99 a set. We've got, I don't know what I would call these. I almost want to call them psychedelic kitties because they're like little rainbowy happy kitties or stained glass kitties. These I thought were hilarious because it's a cat in a pizza box eating a pizza. They're so cute. That's it for cats. But we're not done with animals because we've got snails where it says slow progress is still progress. And he's holding a little heart. Lisa Frank kitties? Is that what it is? I don't know. Who's Lisa Frank? Is that like fabric? No. Melissa's shaking her head at me. I know I've heard the name Lisa Frank, but I don't know. I only know things if they're yarn related. I'm sure somebody will chime in and help me out. To go along, let's see, well, a slight detour from animals, not specific animals. We finally got some cool new Detroit Lions stitch stoppers. So we got football helmets. And I got my hands on some Detroit Red Wings stitch stoppers. I have yet to find Tigers ones, Detroit Tigers, but I'm constantly have my eye out for them. And then artist that does all the rainbow cheetah stuff. Well, rainbow cheetah. I'm sure I know. I just don't know. New gnomes with candy corn because candy corn, you either love it or hate it. I feel like candy corn and cilantro are like the two things that are very polarizing for people. I love candy corn, but it's got to be the original candy corns, not the chocolate ones. So little candy corn gnomes, they're so cute. And then we've got, because I feel like every set I should have some that address. Oh. Ah! Hi, child. I didn't know it was you commenting on here. I love you. Bye. Oh, my child. Okay. I feel like every batch I get some that have something to do with anxiety. So these are little iced coffees. It says 50% iced coffee, 50% anxiety, which I think are really cute. And then we have to get some sweary ones because why not get some sweary ones? And it's a box of tissues and says allergic to your BS. Because, yeah, because we needed some sweary ones. I haven't gotten any sweary ones in a while. So those are some of the new stitch stoppers we got. We got a lot of animals too. I just didn't want to go through all of them tonight. And then the last thing I wanted to kind of show off was we have a trunk show from Just Be Fibers. The dyer behind Just Be Fibers is Kelly Neenstedt, who is one of the owners of formerly Crafty Lady Trio, now Time to Unwind, a yarn shop in Macomb down off 59. And she is also a dyer. So we had a trunk show from her, I believe last year, that coordinated with the retreat in Bay City as well. But I just pulled a few of the colors because we have fingering DK, fingering weight, DK weight, and mohair. And her mohair is, I think they're 50 gram. They must be because they're about 459 yards. So her mohair is 50 gram. If you're thinking about doing a mohair dare with the Stephen West, maybe some of Kelly's colors might be really cool for that. So Just Be Fibers is the name of the company. And I just pulled a few of the colors of each to show off so you get an idea of what her yarns look like. But the fingering and the DK both run $28 a skein. We'll have the trunk show here for a little bit. I really don't know how long it's going to be here for. She just left it with me when they were headed back downstate yesterday. Saturday, I saw her, not yesterday. So it might be here for a week or 2 weeks. I'm not totally sure. but some of the colors and they don't. I know she was in a rush trying to get everything done and dyed and labeled. So a lot of the fingering weight ones don't have names on them. They just are pretty. So we're gonna kind of say they're sort of all one of a kinds because they don't have colors on them. But we've got these beautiful purpley pink tones. There are some teals and turquoises. There's some, oh, beautiful. That's a better turquoise, more solid turquoise. This one that kind of reminds me of a fall apple orchard. It's got the greens and reds and like a good fall brown in there. Are those the only fingering ones I grabbed? I think so. And then, so her fingering weight yarn is, oh, this one's called Frozen Night. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 464 yards, 463 yards, depending on the label that's on it. Then she's got her DK weight, which is 75-25 also, 246 yards. And some of these I have multiple skeins of, some I only have one, depending. You're gonna have to come in and see. But this, I think this color is just stunning. It's like this olive and gold. Just really, really pretty, really fall. And then there's this kind of speckly, cream colored speckle with yellows, ochres, dark greens, browns. This beautiful gold, lights and darks. This burgundy, mauve combo. And then the mohair is 72% kid mohair, 28% silk. And there's a magenta. There's this really pretty stormy gray. Oh. And these are $29.50 a skein. This one I think is really, really cool. So at first glance, it just kind of looks like a taupey color, but if you really look at it, it's got like copper and silver tones to it. And with the silk in there, the way it shines, it's got a lot of depth in the color to it. There's this pretty candy cane one. It's called, oh yeah, and this guy is turquoise tees. And this one is Mossy Meadow. Moving all her labels around. So typically when you get a ball of mohair, they tend to be 25-gram balls. These are 50-gram balls, so they're for 50-gram pinks. So 400 and some yards. If you were going to do any sort of mohair accent in a project, those would be great for something like that. So they're absolutely beautiful. I will post pictures either this evening or tomorrow of the bins with all the colors so you can see what we've got, quantities and things like that. Nobody's been in the shop since I put them out, so quantities should be the same, although I do have a couple Monday girls that wander through this way after class is over. So that might, a couple of them might disappear. We see. Oriana, this one, is that the one you're talking about? That's the only one that's like the dark mohair one. Oh, the dark gold skein and the tan mohair. Okay. Well, we'll chat. I don't know if you mean the bright gold or the greeny one, the greeny gold one. So let me know on that, and then I will set that aside for you. There's a little bit of a delay, but we'll get there. Let me look at my notes and see what else we have to talk about. Retro sweater, the pop-up, trunk show, mini skeins, to stubbers. I'm asking about the dark mohair. Hang on, let me go see what I got. I do. I have another one. It's a little bit more tightly stained, but it's the same color. So I do have two of those. Green and gold. Okay. Got it. Otherwise, I've got, yeah, there's a green over there. Couple others. Got it, got it. Malabrigo Day, October 25th. We can officially like start talking about it now. So October 25th, the end of the month, is a Saturday. It is Malabrigo Day. I've been talking about save the date. They finally made the official announcement last week that it is Malabrigo Day. What does that mean? For us, that means we are going to have a yarn tasting of every Malabrigo base they have, including ones we've not had in the shop before. So they are going to be sending samples to us, sample skeins to us, so we can knit up swatches. But we carry, oh, Mora, Silk Paca, Mohair, Sock, Ultimate Sock, Mashita, Arroyo, Dos Tierras. Oh, their new one, Seis Cabos, Rios. Oh, their DK Caprino. I'm looking around the store as I'm coming across them. Worsted, Mecha, Noventa, Chunky, Rasta, Caracol. So we carry, what is that? 17. Metamorphosis is their, we do carry Metamorphosis. I don't know if that's their sock base though. I don't know if they call that, if they consider that a separate base. I think it's just part of sock. From what I can tell, I think there are maybe 3 or 4. And then we also carry both their superwash and their non-superwash spinning fibers, their noob and their cloud. We don't carry worsted. We don't carry, there's another one they came out with. And Finito. There are really a very few of Malabrigo yarns that we don't carry here in the shop. We pretty much, I like Malabrigo a lot. I think they have a great their business model. They are able to keep their price point low for a hand-dyed yarn, which we very much appreciate. And it's great to knit and crochet with and spin with. So any base that we don't carry, they're sending us so we can have samples here in the shop. They're sending us little goodies to give away, pins and stickers, and they came out with a new tote bag and some few other goodies too. So it's going to be just a day to celebrate Malabrigo. I am trying to decide if I can maneuver putting all of the Malabrigo yarns in one area. I don't know if I can because it's like half the store. So I'm not quite sure if we can accomplish that. But if you've been in the store, you know, we've got Malabrigo coming out of the woodworks everywhere. It's just a fantastic company to work with. So Malabrigo Day, October 25th, lots of stuff going on. They are going to, starting October 5th, I believe, on their social media, they're going to start doing a campaign of 20 days of Malabrigo leading up to because it's their 20th anniversary, leading up to Malabrigo Day on October 25th. And each day they're going to have some sort of little tidbit about either a yarn, how they named it, how they came up with it, a history about the company, lots of things like that. And then on the day, one of the things that they've suggested that we suggest to customers is that you bring in or wear something that you've made out of Malabrigo yarn. So if you have something in the works, you might want to get it finished before then, because it would be fun to show it off. They've created a special hashtag for that. And they really want to encourage people to be in a yarn store when they take a picture and tag Malabrigo in it. And I think they're going to do some sort of giveaway with that. So it's just going to be a fun event. And one more way that we appreciate that Malabrigo supports yarn stores as much as yarn stores support Malabrigo. That is all that's on my list for today. So I will call it good there. We will be doing Monday motivations throughout the month of October. As a reminder, I know I mentioned it briefly, but the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along Mystery Musicale starts this Thursday. If you've got your yarn already and you need it wound, pop in and we will wind it for you. I'm super excited. I've got my yarns picked out. I will get them wound sometime this week. If you don't have your yarns picked out yet, come on in and we will help you with it. Some of these yarns that Kelly dyed, some of them might be too variegated, but you know, something like this would be really pretty in there. So if you wanted to do something a little special and pull a skein or two from the trunk show, that would be an idea as well. If you've got one or two special skeins at home, bring them in. We'll match up something with what we have on our giant wall of fingering weight yarn. You want to add a little sparkle? We've got sparkle. You know, we do. It didn't all sell out this weekend. There was still a little bit left. So there you go. Melissa's planning on coming in again on Wednesday. So that'll be fun. And oh, you'll wind mine for me on Wednesday. Good. Or you could just wind anybody's. All right. I hope everybody has a great week. And if we don't see you sometime this week here in the shop, then we'll be back here next Monday at 7 o'clock. Have a great week. Enjoy the sunshine.